My name is Deepak, and today I'm going to present a presentation upon why we should improve our anti-seismic infrastructure in the Delhi NCR region. In this presentation, I am going to explain the importance of anti-seismic infrastructure. We are going to understand the impact of the disasters in the Delhi NCR region in the past. We are going to analyze our current situation, and we're going to draw a solution to minimize the damage from a future disaster. Why should the government establish anti-seismic precautions? The Delhi NCR region has had numerous small earthquakes ranging from 2 to 5 on the Richter scale. The most severe of these earthquakes in the last 2 decades was felt on March 5th, 2012. Smaller earthquakes are felt numerous times throughout the year. A recent trend has been observed in the rise of earthquakes since the late 90s. This would entail a likelihood of a highly severe earthquake in the near future. The Delhi NCR is in proximity to numerous active faults, such as the Delhi Haridwar fault or the Sohana fault. These faults interact and create large amounts of friction. When the stress from the plate movement overcomes the friction, the surrounding crust experiences seismic activity. This proximity to faults is the cause for the region to be highly susceptible to earthquakes. In recent times, as mentioned earlier, a trend has been observed in the frequency of earthquakes. This rise in earthquakes is predicted to be due to the increase in the movement of the Indian plate. This could entail that if the movement of the plate increases further, the likelihood of a larger earthquake would increase due to the greater interplate friction. Actions taken in the past. In the past, the Indian government has worked towards relief efforts for its citizens. Numerous traditional methods of relief, such as supply of food for displaced citizens and sheltering, have been used in the past in locations hit with severe earthquakes, such as Kashmir. But due to response to disasters, the government faces monetary loss and damages its economy. Mortality rates in the event of a violent earthquake could be high. Food would be a rarity in such a situation, and the government not only has to resuscitate the local economic environment, but also has to supply food and shelter to numerous displaced citizens. Preparations in the past. Current measures taken in the Delhi NCR region are not sustainable for mitigating any seismic disasters. The awareness campaign present is relatively new, and the campaign is limited to advisory. The campaign has advised the citizens to inspect their households for structural strength. With a large portion of Delhi's population living in slums with low income citizens, it is unlikely that awareness alone can change the current infrastructure of the city. The awareness campaign can only inform citizens of the actions to be taken during a seismic disaster. This still entails a damage in the capital of the government for the reconstruction of the city. There has been near to no development in the mitigation strategy of the Delhi NCR. No actions have been fully taken. Buildings and other structures maintain structural vulnerability despite the danger of the zone. The disaster awareness and drills, which should be known to Delhi citizens, have only recently been addressed by the government, and the initiative is still in its infancy. Despite requests from the High Court as recent as 2018, the government has only started making an action plan. This is alarming, as according to a survey conducted by the Municipal Corporation of Delhi, 90% of Delhi households are vulnerable to destruction due to seismic activity. Have actions taken up till this point allowed for sustainable anti seismic infrastructure? Actions taken up till this point have been largely unsustainable. The awareness campaign, which has been undertaken in the city, is new and largely basic. It can only minimize mortalities of a disaster. Economical damage is still imminent. Another action taken by the government of Delhi is to make individuals and communities provide capital for the improvement of their own residentials. This path is highly impossible, as numerous communities in Delhi are below the poverty line, and thus the required capital for the residential and public reconstruction should be performed by the government. What actions can possibly be taken? In order to understand the actions that should be taken in India, we must understand what strategies have been used in highly developed countries, which are vulnerable to such disasters. And an important example is Japan. Japan lies on the Pacific Ring of Fire, which has high amounts of volcanic and seismic activities undertaken in it. Japan has made numerous changes to its infrastructure to accommodate disasters. The country has made numerous laws for ensuring that residentials and office buildings are fortified against disasters. Their curricula put emphasis upon educating students about mitigation strategies. Japan also utilizes highly advanced technology to predict upcoming disasters and analyzes susceptible zones to focus development towards. What strategy should be employed by our government? In order to guarantee minimal economical damage, reconstruction of important buildings such as schools, hospitals, and governments should be undertaken to make them more pa- resilient to a disaster. These buildings are crucial for the maintenance of a sustainable and functioning community, which is in turn crucial for maintaining a sustainable influx of capital for the government of Delhi. And alongside this, establishment of laws and policies entailing structural integrity of buildings must be established. Certain examples would include taxes upon pre-existing buildings for not enforcing anti-seismic precautions and mandatory architectural requirements for under construction buildings, which add towards buildings' strength.